What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be installing a Yoshimura Alpha complete exhaust on the Ninja 650/Z650. The first thing you're going to want to do is take off this cover panel here to get to the O2 sensor plug-in. Now that that cover's off, it's 8mm to take this cover off. Now you're going to want to use a little Allen key to get this cover and this cover off. So this is the little O2 sensor piece. You can see that there's a little notch here. You're going to want to shove the screwdriver under there, pull up, and the O2 should pop out. Don't try to pry it out, it should pop out automatically if you do it right. So now that you got that unplugged, you just feed it through these little grommets here, get the wire fully undone, and then you're going to want to disconnect the O2 sensor right here. And that's going to be a 17. Now that the O2 sensor's out, I'm just going to leave it hanging there because I don't feel like undoing the grommet right here. And now we're ready to take the exhaust off. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to unbolt the headers here, and then you're going to want to unbolt it from the frame. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a 6mm and undo the shifter to get access to the bolt that goes across and holds the. So once this is undone, you're going to want to take it out and just let the shifter move the foot peg and just let the shifter hang like that. And now you have access to the bolt. So now you're going to want to take a 12mm socket and take the header bolts out. So now you're going to take your 12mm wrench. In that hole there's a 12mm bolt. You're going to want to put it in there, and you can see that connects to the bolt in there, the shaft. You loosen it, and you're going to want to be careful when you're loosening it because this nut right there will get loose and fall off. So now that it's loosened, you can. So what I did to take it out, it was a little complicated. I just stuck my hand through here, turned it by hand, shoved a little magnet through here just in case it fell, caught it, pushed it back up through here. So now that that bolt's off, we could go unscrew the other. What I did was I stuck this little bin under the exhaust, and that allowed me to reach my hand up in here and start pulling the bolt out. So as you can see, the bolt's out. Now you just got to play with it right here in order to get it fully out. And be careful, the exhaust will fall. So I just moved and wiggled the exhaust until the bolt came out of here. Once the bolt's out of here, you slide it out and the exhaust will fall. As you can see, the bolt came out through here, and now the exhaust is completely off the bike. And that's what you're left with underneath is some rubber grommets on the green thing that you're going to take out later. So just get the exhaust out of the way. So now what's left is these little rubber grommets. You're going to want to pull them out because you're going to replace them with the Yoshimura installments. Once you have the little rubber grommet out, it should look like that. I found the best way to do it was to pull from one hand on this side and push on this side, and then you just pop it right out. So now you're going to want to open your Yoshimura box and get this package out with the clamps and the replacements. So that was very tricky to get on, but as you see, we got the spacer here that goes on this side like that. You put it in, you put the long tube holder, you put the bracket that the exhaust flange holds onto, you put a spacer here, then the bolt comes through like that. Then you're going to want to take the other grommet and put it through like that. So that's the whole assembly here. So now it's time to install the headers. You're going to want to make sure that the gasket, they're like a bronze color, they're still up in the headers because sometimes they fall out when you take the stock exhaust on. So I left the rubber bands here just to stop the flanges from falling down, and you're going to want to hand tighten the nuts. So this thing out the box that holds the exhaust muffler on came like bent. I don't know if it was during the shipping or whatnot, but it was really hard to get it onto this clamp, and it scratched up my carbon fiber a little bit, so I'm a little bit pissed. But anyways, once you have that on and mounted to the top, you put all the springs. One goes here, one goes down, and the top one goes there. You want to snug by hand about 13 pounds for the header bolts, and that's it. The muffler is now installed. I'm going to show you guys the other side. So before we took the O2 sensor out, I took it out of this little bracket right here, and I had the wire all completely out. I screwed it in by hand, tightened it down with a 17 millimeter, ran it back up through here, and then it runs up by here. This little holder moves out of the way, clamp it back, run it up through here, and then plug it back into this little inlet right there. And then the last part is to just wrap this up and you're all good. Put the plastic pieces back on. Don't forget to reinstall the shifter onto this piece, and don't forget to tighten down the main holder here for the exhaust before you put the shifter. So when you're going to put your plastic pieces back on, this one, the longer screw goes on top, the shorter screw goes on the bottom. And then this piece goes on here like that. Screw the bottom, screw in. Do not screw the top, because this piece is going to fit behind it, and one screw is going to hold the both pieces. So now that you got the last plastic cover on here, it fits behind this one. You're left with two screws. This one goes into here, and the last screw goes into there. So the last thing you're going to want to do is clean off all the stainless steel with a new fresh rag, some rubbing alcohol, and new gloves. You're going to want to clean the headers, and you're going to want to clean the pipe going all the way to the carbon. Cleaning it with rubbing alcohol will ensure that all of the fingerprints you left, if you did not use gloves, even if you use gloves, will come off. Because if you do not rub the exhaust, your greases from your fingers will get stuck onto the exhaust forever. Once you warm up the bike and it gets hot, it'll get caked onto the exhaust. This is the finished product. Alright guys, so now that everything is done, we're going to do a cold start and start this bike up with the new exhaust. Hopefully she sounds good.